everyone. Welcome to another Monday live stream on Crypto Tips. My name is Heidi.
And I'm Toby.
And we're here to talk to you about what the heck is your plan for any profits that you may make during the next coming bull run. Because there will be another bull run. There will be another bear market.
This is another bull.
And then there will be another bull run.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea to kind of have a plan, know, in exactly how do you want your life to change for your improvement. And Toby over here is Mr. Pragmatic. So anyway, we're going to get into that. But today, check out the video description. There's a link for an interview of Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's really, I think, a good interview and a reminder of what kind of mindset most people are in as they're growing up, going through school, and, getting their first job, getting their first paycheck, being an employee, and how that mindset really affects the trajectory of your life and, how that can go.
Yeah.
So what did you think of that interview?
I thought it was really good. I mean, I wasn't taught about money until the last year of my college.
Yeah, very few people are taught about money, to be fair.
Which is unfair because, being an employee is fine, but at least give people a chance to choose, because when I went through business school, I literally learned nothing, by the way. I'll admit that. And so, the only reason I learned nothing is because it bored me to tears. I went to this college in Point Loma Nazarene University, and it was the most boring business school I've ever been to. All they did for the last year and a half was teach me how to make a good resume. And I was just thinking well, I don't want to do that. I want to, there's got to be another way. I had no idea about how to make your money work for you, but I was thinking there has to be another way. And nobody taught that until the last semester that I had, and I took a real estate course. And the guy drove in with a Ferrari. I'm like, wow, that's different. I'm like, how did he get that? And he was like, okay, well, you got to make your money work for you. So I asked my dad, and he's kind of guided me along. And, I had that little bit of help. And I started reading Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, back then. That was around 2001 or something like that. So, yeah, that was a life changer for me. And I pretty much thought, man, if I learned this my first semester, I would have never finished college.
Could have saved a lot of money.
Yeah, I could have saved a lot of money, a lot of time, and I could have done something I really wanted to do. So it was a total waste of time. And this isn't me being ungrateful or anything. I'm glad that I, was able to get an education. I just wish it was the right type of education. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, everyone in the live chat. Just want to say a quick hello. See you guys all saying hi. So glad to have you here. Right now we're talking about, for those just joining, this interview. It was actually published last year, but it was a really good interview of Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I think it ties in a lot to what we're talking about today, too, of how you're dealing with profits of this cryptocurrency space, the next bull run that's going to hit. So some takeaways, I had to write some notes because I wanted to be sure to talk about some of the things that I thought were really poignant things that he was saying. And this whole mindset of being an employee and relying on a paycheck that someone else is giving you is really a passive way to that many people that I was a part of, and Toby was too, of that was kind of assuming that was the way of life, how it was going to be. You're always going to be an employee. If it's a government job, the government will always take care of you, collect unemployment or whatever, or whatever, the company is always going to take care of you. So the other side of that would be, instead, you should be much more independent and relying on your own strengths and your own abilities and your own mind to be industrious and persistent and consistent. And that can benefit you. I mean, generally that kind of mindset will benefit you, whatever you're putting your mind to, whether it's trying to be more healthy, trying to pursue healthier relationships in your life, or being successful, with your investments or, your business life. Another thing that he said, or what I kind of was taking away from this, is this whole Rich Dad, Poor Dad scenario of the difference of those two mindsets is like the poor dad mindset is a defeatist mindset, one where I am admittedly still kind of I catch myself in that mindset a lot, and Toby is so free and clear of that. So we're definitely, I think, contrasting in that way. And I kind of am more conservative than you, which might be good or bad depending how it plays out.
For me, there's no obstacles. Like, I can do anything.
And I'm always kind of saying, like, my trigger mindset is to be like, well, this is how it won't work out. And Toby's always the why not, or always, why can't this happen? And I'm always kind of quick to say, well, here's
good.
All the issues. But it's, I mean, being with you for as long as we've definitely been evolving out of that. But that's what it is. If your mindset is automatically trying to talk yourself out of being successful, of all the ways you could fail, instead of rising to the challenge and trying to actually create a solution and figure out a way to make it work. I mean, that's how there's so many phrases for finding success in life, like never give up, or you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. There's all over the place, but they're there because they're true. And I think it's especially for people who are waking up to other ways to making money. Being a part of the cryptocurrency space certainly requires you to think outside the box and to go against the grain. There's plenty of people out there who are happy to say all the issues or, why they don't trust cryptocurrency.
And that's fine, too.
How ironic that might be.
That's fine. I mean, I have a lot of people in my life, or probably half the people in my life, easily that are totally don't care about cryptocurrencies, and that's fine, I mean, but it gets to the point where it's like, all right, well, I'm getting kind of nagged by them, like, hey, it's just stupid or whatever. So that's when you kind of have to turn people off and kind of do your own thing, because like, if I listen to people coming out to, if 10 years ago or whatever, I would have said, hey, I'm going to work, my goal is to catch like an 80 to 90 foot wave, which, pretty much has almost happened out here. Then, people were like, you're crazy. That's stupid. You can't do that. Just get a regular job and, it's not going to happen. So I had to ignore most of my family, pretty much all my family, 90% of my friends back in the day. And, even right now, there's a couple of friends that don't like it, and I just have to ignore their crappy attitude on it.
Yeah, but we've also benefited in so many different ways in our life of like kind of going against the grain, being ahead of the curve, not waiting for approval from the masses. Like you've established yourself here as a surfer very early on to this new hype that's kind of coming to this area, and within cryptocurrency, obviously.
But I think the one thing that sets me apart is the fact that I don't want sponsors. I hate the idea of being somebody else's bitch, essentially. It's really, I want to stay far away from it. I give my own paycheck. I don't rely on anybody else to pay me.
It's that whole mindset of being independent.
No. And a lot of these surfers here, these big wave guys, you may see them on TV or whatever, they're stressed out of their mind because they're trying to chase their paychecks, trying to get that sponsor. They're not living the life that they could really, truly want to live. Mm-hmm. And, I'm speaking for most of them too. Like, I can say that 100% because I've talked to them. I'm not going to name names or whatever, but yeah, it's a tough lifestyle if you're unable to make your own future.
Yeah.
So.
And it's also kind of the same with this channel as well. I've always shied away from being sponsored and having that kind of biasedness being applied to whatever kind of content I want to produce on this channel. I've always very highly valued being independent and being self-funded. And you guys in the CT Club have been amazing support for this channel, and it's helping to solidify that future for this channel as well. So thank you for everyone in the CT Club. And it's that whole, again, that independent mindset of like not relying on a sponsorship, or not for Toby for surfing, for me for this channel, just in general in life, being able to have your finger on the pulse of how you can have your money work for you can like give you freedom in so many different ways. It's really beautiful. Speaking of the Patreon group, so this live stream, I had a couple things I want to mention in the beginning that I forgot to. YouTube has been, I guess, not notifying people when we go live. So if you want to join my free newsletter, it goes out every Sunday. I do a write-up. I give you guys all caught up on past videos, and I give you a link to the upcoming live stream the next day. So for example, that newsletter came out yesterday, and those people will have gotten a link to this video. I've been trying to do it on Patreon, on Twitter, and also as a post here on YouTube, but it's definitely always going to be on the newsletter. So I encourage you guys that. And also Patreon, you guys who've been in the CT Club are epic, and we're thinking of...
You guys are killing it, by the way.
Thank you for
Congrats.
everyone in the CT Club.
I hope you kept your link like we said. Oh man. You guys did amazing.
But it's also definitely evidence of a bull run coming up. It's like
this is just the start of a bull run.
But
hold on.
Yeah.
This is just like the end of 2016. So if you weren't here for the last bull run, 2016 kind of slowly went up, then you had your 50% gains, your 100% gains on random coins or whatever.
And it was Bitcoin first, and like the big coins, right? And then altcoins were kind of after. Is that right?
Well, I think altcoins kind of took the lead first, and then
it kind of switched back.
It switched back and forth. So I mean, just watch what happens. Watch the $13,000 mark, 13.5 mark on Bitcoin, because there really isn't a lot of people that bought in afterwards. I mean, you may think that, it hit 20,000, so a lot of people are underwater. Well, that's not actually true. A lot of people did not buy up there because it was so quick.
Yeah.
So, I have lots of thoughts on that. But anyways, and I wanted to go over this too. So speaking about gold. Okay, so gold's, almost $2,000, but Bitcoin is like over 6 ounces of gold. 1 Bitcoin equals over 6 ounces of gold, and it's going up as well.
I remember when I made a video saying that 1 Bitcoin equaled 1 ounce of gold. That was in 2017.
Yeah,
I remember
it's crazy.
That.
So
and now it's for 6.
Yeah, so 6x times gold. And this is just getting started. So I mean, you cannot manipulate the price of gold. Or you cannot manipulate the price of Bitcoin as much as you can manipulate the price of gold. The price of gold is literally like they're letting it rise. I mean, they have to because of inflation. I mean, just look how much they're printing. It's just it's the fruit of their labor. Inflation. That's what the Fed does. Yeah. So anyways.
But so getting my last point again about
Honey Badger, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks. It's epic. Thank you for the super chat. Bitcoin Honey Badger, you're a winner. So yeah, one last point about this whole rich dad, poor dad mindset is applying that to the cryptocurrency space. I know Toby did a video. You guys have been enjoying his videos. I love that you guys are happy to have him solo on the channel.
My videos, I just want it quick.
Yeah.
Super quick.
Yeah.
It's
like old school crypto tips. I used to do 5 minutes. Now I talk too much.
I asked Heidi, I'm like, hey, can I get rid of the intro? Just boom, boom,
we need a cartoonization of your face.
Just like give you what's up, and then I'm not going to waste any of your time.
But so anyway, so the video that you did was talking about the
George Ball.
George Ball and his friends are going to be getting into Bitcoin, and there are some comments. There are some comments of people saying like, oh yeah, they might be late, but they're still able to invest millions of dollars, and like I'd rather get 10% on $1 million profit than 100% on a $1 profit or $10 profit. And it's a kind of percentage change idea, but that is a perfect example of this like defeatist mindset of, cutting yourself down before you even enter the market or gain a position. They're like, well, what is $10 of Bitcoin even going to do? Can you imagine that?
Pivotal point. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Pivotal Point.
Living life against the grain. The best way to make a difference in the world.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Having a platform and an audience like you guys to spread it all about is amazing.
Yeah.
But so this whole thing of like, oh, it's too late. It's always that mindset of like, I've heard and we've talked to so many people who are like, yeah, I know you told me about Bitcoin like 2 years ago. I should have bought it then. And it's like that it's like ingrained in some people, and maybe, after 5 years they'll like, okay, finally I'll put some money in.
Yeah.
That's why we're always saying to dollar cost average, to accumulate, to gain your position, and it will accrue over time, especially in an appreciating asset like Bitcoin. Just because you're not going to be making like maybe billions of dollars like the already rich people, doesn't mean you can't make gains that will also improve your life and relieve a lot of stress, a lot of debt.
I'll go over a little story about me. Like when I first started getting into crypto, I went hardcore because I was living on the floor with one of my best friends. He, in the same room, he was sleeping on one side, I was sleeping on the other. He snored super loud, so I had to put half my head into a closet. Yeah, this is my life, and I worked 17 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, driving for Uber and Lyft, and then also trying to research ways so that I could better myself. And I came across
I would love to have you as an Uber driver. Brother
John F.
Yeah.
That was the guy that got me into Bitcoin, and he kind of disappeared a little bit, but I saw Bitcoin at like $2 to $3, $5 on his channel, but didn't hop in till it was around 70. So, but yeah, he was like one of the guys, and I literally put everything I made, other than probably 10%. I lived off of 10%.
Yeah.
Lived like a bum.
Lived well within your means.
And I made it my goal. I'm like, you know what? Regardless of what Bitcoin does, I believe in this so much. People thought I was crazy for it. Like people thought I was an idiot. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I'm gonna sleep on the streets before I sell anything. And my mom was like, you're crazy. And but I found a cheap place to sleep, and I just dealt with it because driving Uber and Lyft so much, I pretty much I let go of my friendships for a little bit, because I realized I got one chance at this. Like, I don't want to be an employee my whole life. And it paid off big time. Like, thank God.
It was a risk, but it's, again, that same mindset. Even if that didn't work out, you probably would have found something and tried again and again.
Yeah.
It's like you hear these millionaires saying, like, yeah, I remember the first million I had and I lost and I made $1 million again. It's the people who are probably going to be entrepreneurs and be successful are kind of, I guess, destined to be that way because they have such a mindset to just keep going. No matter what, always pursuing something else.
Yeah.
Skynet says, I'm going to spend my gains on making sure I never have to pay bills again. Excellent. Definitely would be my first advice, is to pay off your debts with your profits. Absolutely. Can you imagine, for those of you who have, I watched this YouTube video a few months ago, these people who were like saying how much debt they had. It was like a 5-minute video. It went from people who two people said like they don't have any debt, and the people filming it were amazed. And then it was like, couple $100 worth of credit card debt, and then it built to like $1,000, then $5,000, then $15,000, and then $40,000 because of college debt and loans. And just, I can't imagine. I'm sure there's lots of people out there, because it is such a debt-based economy, and it's so encouraged to take out loans for cars, for houses, for your education. That weight that is on you, that that whatever money you do earn, if you are an employee, you are getting a paycheck, that money isn't really going to get to you. It's going to go to this debt that's like...
Well, yeah, I saw this.
Almost forever.
I learned... Okay, so like Robert Kiyosaki, I also had a poor dad. He was my real father, and I loved him to death. And one of the things I learned from him, was how not to deal with money. Mm-hmm. He got into incredible amounts of debt, indebted my mother, and... It's hard to say this, but he left my mom when he died, and with a lot of debt, and with some good circumstances, she was able to pay off a little bit of that. But I learned, like, hey, I never want to be in debt. Never ever want to be in debt. So I was one of the people that decided, hey, I see what happens with my parents, like they're never out of debt. I don't want that for myself.
Yeah.
No way. And I look at other people just working their butt off, trying to pay off their car loan. I'm like, man, I'd rather just walk or ride a bike. you know, like forget that. I don't want to work and try to save up, you know, for my car, whatever. So I don't know. And these are life lessons. So take it, you know, this, you know, for your life too. You know, it's really dangerous to get into debt if you do not understand debt. If you understand debt, that's a different story. But if you don't, which I didn't have the education for that. That's incredibly dangerous, and it can rob you. I mean, mortgage means till death, literally.
Yeah.
So death, gage is, or
contract.
Contract, yeah, death contract, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. So let's say, you know, everyone here is watching, or you've invested a little bit in crypto, and this is your first time gonna be going through a bull run. Congratulations, welcome. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. But like I said, Toby is Mr. Pragmatist over here, super optimistic, and because we don't know what is going to happen with this bull run. We don't know how high it's going to go. We don't know how long it's going to take to get there, what's going to happen along the way. But what we do know is that profits will be made in a bull run. That's it. So
there's going to be so much
Toby being, sorry, I'm going to cut you off a little bit.
Yeah.
Toby being the forever optimist and me being like, oh, this is how everything can't work.
I wouldn't say optimist all the time.
No, but you dream big. You dream big. And it's benefited both of us, me obviously as well, being around someone who is so motivated to pursue other things in life. And I'm glad to have had that rubbed off on me. But I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Like, figure out, like, whatever your debt is, that should be your priority. If you're outside of that, think of if you want to purchase property, if you want to move somewhere, think of smart ways to use your profit to really elevate your life. Don't just like go out and buy a Lambo or a mega yacht or a new wardrobe or like some other depreciating asset. If it's going to be property, maybe consider like property that you genuinely want to live. Maybe not an investment property. Depends where you are in your life if you have that. But once you kind of have your idea around it, plan what it would take for you to actually get that going. What kind of lawyer do you need to hire if you need a lawyer? What are the real estate agents like in that area? Do they accept cryptocurrency? That would be amazing. If you're thinking about traveling or moving abroad, you know, what are the laws with crypto in that? How can you make that work best in your favor? There's a lot to go around it, and Toby's epic at that, and he's always been diving into all different ways that we can, you know, make our life better.
Yeah.
Constantly.
It's fun.
And yeah, and I'm always like, yeah, okay, that's never going to happen, but not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
But dude, here we are. It's like 5 years ago, I would have never thought we'd be living in Portugal or anything like this, traveling where we've traveled, and here we are, and it's happened. Actually, I remember when we first came to Portugal and you were wanting to plan a trip all through Africa. And this was the first time I'd ever left the U.S. The first time I ever left the country. And you were like, yeah, we can go to like South Africa. We can go to Zimbabwe. We can go to Kenya. And I was like, I was so overwhelmed at that moment. I was like, I can't even talk about this right now. But that's a really exciting thing to do, to really just kind of let yourself go in that direction and see, you know, just keep exploring. And
like, I think with the new bull run, you're going to see gains in like your portfolio like you've never seen before. It actually might be you might be numb to it with the type of gains that you will probably be making in this next bull, because I think there's more money, more people involved, and you have billionaires and hedge funds and all those guys. So, you know, there's going to be stupid amounts of money. So, I mean, we're already at almost 400, like altogether market cap, we're about 382 or something like that, 382 billion. So I expect this market to go well past $1 trillion, $2 trillion, easy, like simple. So with that said, the last bull run had about $800 billion market cap, around there, something like that. And so, I mean, we're talking more than double. And like, if I was numb by, you know, back then with the gains that I was seeing, like we didn't take all of it out either. You know, we rode a lot to the, you know, to the bottom, and just, you know, we didn't really have a plan, like we wanted to. Yes, we got a house, we got a citizenship, we got, our taxes paid off and whatever. So, but other than that, we didn't really have a plan. And so we could have done so much more with that. And so that's why we're talking to you guys. We want you guys to at least have a plan. But like, is it your house that you really want to buy? Is it a car? Whatever. If it's something that you want, go for it, what type of charities do you want to set up? Because I mean, you can have all the money in the world, but that's cool. But like, how are you helping other people? That's really important. So you got to have like a life goal, and you got to have plans for that.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're making profits that, I know Toby's always like, quit your job as soon as you can.
I tell all my friends to quit their jobs.
As much as I think that's, again, like kind of a crazy thing, it is a life-changing thing, to shift from the kind of security that traditional mindset can, obviously it's a comfort zone for many people. But just think about this fact, if you can make money outside of that and actually spend your time doing things that you want to do that will make you feel fulfilled by helping other people. That's why I'm doing this channel. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why I've had this channel for 4 years, because I genuinely enjoy helping other people come to understand this crypto space better. And I think it's really helpful.
Well, I've told like literally 90% of my friends, quit your jobs now. Like, quit them. It's useless. Pay your rent or whatever. Quit your job. And I mean, this is my extreme nature mindset. I'm like, study like these coins and just put a little bit of money into them. You know what I mean? Because researching, like if they can spend the amount of time that they're at their work researching coins and figuring out what the next coin is to go into before it pumps, you'll make way more money. Like especially during a bull run. Yeah, it's risky, but I mean, if you have a core position in Bitcoin, you have a core position in Ethereum, I think you're fine, That's what I tell my friends. Yeah, that's pretty, it may be reckless for other people, especially if you got a family or whatever, but if you're kind of settled, and you're not struggling too much, man, what's the point? And if you don't like your job, quit it. Do what you want to do. Like, don't waste any time, because there's not another time in the history of the world that you're probably going to make this much in gains. Yeah. Like, this is the time to do it. And that's why I'm so hardcore of like telling people, please, study this. I want you to be retired. Like, retired means not like, oh, I don't have anything to do. I'm just going to sit on my lawn chair and like mow the grass like a boring person. No, but like, so you can change other people's lives and stuff.
Value to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We have some questions here I want to make sure that we get to. Duarte is saying, can you talk about the process of cashing in when millions are made in crypto? You transfer to traditional bank account or put some in a stable coin? Thanks. I mean, I think if you're going to be cashing out of crypto, I don't think you should be putting it into fiat. Maybe precious metals, or again, like we're saying, investing in like property that you generally want to use, or that you see as like a developing market.
That's true.
And this, again,
get out of fiat. If you have to go in fiat,
I wouldn't tuck it into a traditional bank. Yeah. That's just me, and probably Toby too.
No way.
Stable coins, they're tied to fiat currencies as well. So I recently did a video about why stable coins are due for a shakeup, because they are going to suffer the same repercussions because they are pegged to the fiat. I know we're almost out of time. Yeah, so we're going to talk about this in the next class for the CT Club on August 26th.
A lot more in depth, though.
Noon Eastern Time. We're talking specifics of exchanges that we found that are helpful.
And really good ways to take profits.
Yeah, like and really strategies for what to do with profits. So that's a class coming August 26th, noon Eastern Time, specifically to the CT Club members of my Patreon account. Oh. Link can be found down below. I know. So, wait, there's another question here. Okay, so new solution for you. Great question. I have a question about the DeFi trade alerts that we've been doing on the CT Club. Can you just let us know where to store those? Most of them seem to be Ethereum tokens. Yes, I will make a post specifically going over the coins we've gotten into that we've made alerts about and how we're storing those. So thank you for that suggestion. I'll make a note of that. And that'll be out in the next couple days. And lastly, I thought there was one more question I saw in here. Sorry. Okay. Okay.
You want to talk about the...
Oh, yeah. Okay, so everyone who's in the CT Club now, you're in members, you guys are epic. You guys will be grandfathered into that current tier price range. So I will be making... It's been growing like crazy, and so just so I can like mentally deal with helping all these people, we will be making a change to actually up the price of the membership for the CT Club.
But once again, everybody that's signed up for the...
We're making that change at the end of the month. So as of August 31st, if you are in the CT Club, you'll be grandfathered in at that $7 a month membership fee. And after that, it will be a different higher price. So I just want to honor everyone who has been loyal and epic up until that point. And so you guys definitely will be staying there. I'm just doing that to kind of, again...
The early adopters.
Early adopters paying off again. But yeah, just trying to maybe limit a little bit of the people who are joining, or I don't know. It's crazy, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving you guys quality attention as well, and still being able to maintain my mental state and do other things outside of that as well. Cool.
Crypto collectibles.
Oh, that's interesting.
You mean like crypto kitties? I think they could probably come back, but hopefully they don't crash the ETH network. No. That's what happened last time.
Yeah.
Literally, there's something called crypto kitties back in 2017 where people
I think there's other implementations of that kind of concept too, like non-fungible tokens.
Sure, but people were paying like thousands of Ether. And this is when Ether was at $1,400 or $1,300. Like people were paying thousands of these Ether coins to buy a digital kitty so they could... a rare kitty or whatever. So yeah, and it crashed the network. It literally destroyed Ether. So hopefully they got their crap together and that won't happen. But now we have 2 years ahead of us, of building. These developers have been building. They know what's going to happen. Who knows about the prices? Who knows if people are going to switch to different chains? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to watch the prices for, transactions. If Ether gets too high, who knows what's going to happen, because I think a lot of people will be willing to pay a lot of money for a transaction, especially when the prices are going so high. They're in like complete panic to buy. With their greed kicks in. Greed is the second biggest motivator, right? Other than fear. And so, when you have that much greed trying to get into the market, they'll literally pay it, and they won't even look at like how much they're paying. So these are some things to watch out for. Obviously, we'll catch up. We'll tell you which probably the cheapest one to go through, and like if it's Ether, if it's something else or whatever, if different coins are switching their protocol. But yeah.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for participating in the live stream. Been about 30 minutes. We try to keep it kind of quick so you guys can go on with your day as well. Today was a little bit different. We didn't do too much news at all. But thank you everyone for participating.
Dan Cryptid says fiat stablecoin equals inflation coin.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So that's why it's really dangerous to keep all your cash into Tether.
Yeah.
And these stable coins, because they're literally going away like the dollar.
Yeah, and I mean, even though, like, say for example, GUSD, the stable coin by Gemini, it's like much more I guess trustworthy because of the audits that they've done, and it's all legitimate. It's still okay, they have all this supply, but it's still a supply of fiat of the US dollar. Yeah. So it kind of negates that fact anyway.
Anyways.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, and we appreciate you guys here. Also, there's been a crap ton of scammers like imitating my Instagram account.
I actually get happy with these that she's getting this, because I know the bull run's like happening, because there was the same thing happened. So watch out.
If you're ever curious how to contact me or what our official social media things are, always in the video descriptions of my videos, of this video, any video, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, newsletter. It's all in the video description. So when in doubt, check those. And anyway, real crypto tips. That's mine. No numbers, whatever. Okay. Thank you everyone again.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing you guys again soon on Monday, but Toby and I will be pumping out videos in the meantime. So until then, hope you guys are staying happy and healthy.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you later.